If Stephen Lovegrove is suggesting it's something that we need to be concerned about, then we probably should. He probably has a lot more detail on the security implications than we do, and I think he brings out some very good points. I think not least at all. We have the Russians potentially threatening nuclear use in Ukraine, and when you have China modernizing and tripling the size of its nuclear arsenal, that is a concern. I think one of the key points he says is that at least with the Russians during the Cold War, we had a dialogue. We understood each other's doctrine and the way that we would use nuclear weapons. Therefore, that meant that there were stocks and changes so that actually miscalculations couldn't happen. Now, we don't have that with the Chinese. And as he said also, their disdain for arms control and their sort of malign influence around the country really raises these issues. And again, going back to Ukraine.
No, sorry, Hamish. I was just going to interrupt there and saying, and does that mean, if this is the case, that this is not like the Cold War and that we, don't understand the parameters necessarily well? Does that mean we need to change how we react to all of this and the strategies that we might well have in place?
Well, I think we certainly do. And we certainly need to make sure that we have those lines of communication open with the Chinese, so the chance of miscalculation is not there. And with what has happened in Ukraine, and it's well reported that China also has designs on Taiwan, that again raises the stakes. And I think a nuclear-capable China, without the checks and balances in place that we have with the Russians, is not a good place to be. So I think it's a welcome highlight by Stephen Lovegrove. And amongst all the other news that is happening at the moment, we know that China does have malign intent in a whole host of things. It's important that we don't turn a blind eye to this increase in nuclear capability and make sure that ourselves, and particularly the Americans and the French, the other key nuclear nations, have a dialogue with the Chinese to make sure that mistakes and accidents don't happen.
And just very finally and quickly, you've got about 30 seconds, Hamish. The real concern here that we're kind of talking about, we're not mentioning, is it Taiwan, essentially?
Well, I think that's a concern. Again, seeing, with Russians' expansion into Ukraine and the unconventional war that they're now developing there, with, again, the possibility, hopefully not, of nuclear use. If China does decide to invade Taiwan, the fact that they are significantly nuclear capable will make it more difficult for the international community, NATO and others, to prevent that happening.